Navy boot camp. So this video is tailored to anyone that's going to Navy boot camp. I can't speak on the Marines, Army, Air Force, or Coast Guard, but I can speak on the Navy as I was in boot camp in 2014. So please keep this in mind as I'm going to be going through all these different topics. Now, this was back in 2014. I understand now as of 2022, they have tablets, and the processes are a little bit different, but I'm pretty sure the basis of everything is still the exact same, right? So I'm going to cover how to prepare for boot camp, what to expect, and how to rank up and make the most of your time while you're in boot camp. So even if you come in as an E1, you could essentially leave as an E3. I've seen it done. So let's clear up some myths, right? First myth, drown proofing. That is not real. You will not get drown proofed, but you will have to pass a swim test. I would like to put this disclosure out there. If you do happen to fail the swim test or you can't swim prior to you going to boot camp, do not get discouraged. Do not freak out, because you will have multiple opportunities for you to pass that swim test. The gas chamber is real, but it's not that bad. I don't want to go into, too much detail, because I still want you to be able to have an experience, and I don't want to give away too much to where you're knowing exactly what to expect. So the gas chamber is real. You will have to go through a gas chamber, but it's not that bad. And battle stations. Battle stations is extremely fun, especially if you like high pace and you like an adrenaline rush. You know what I mean? So this was actually something that was created by Disney. And the old battle stations was much more difficult, in my personal opinion, where this one, it still has a level of difficulty to it. But I believe if you go into it, battle stations, which is the very last week, if you go into it with the right mindset, I know you will have a blast. Like, I had a really good time. It's very team oriented. I don't want to put too much out there, but battle stations is an extremely fun time. All right, so now let's get straight to it, right? So when you go into boot camp, this is something that I did not know, I was not aware of, right? In the very beginning, when you first get to boot camp, they're going to ask people to volunteer for certain positions, right? So now this is like the real gravy of everything, right? So you have AROC, RPOC, Master at Arms, Sticks, Division Leader, and a Yeoman. These are the 6 positions that you want to actually volunteer for. And the reason being is because at the end of boot camp, the RDCs will be able to pick which individuals they believe displayed the highest level of leadership and displayed the highest level of just etiquette to be able to advance them from E1 to E2 or E2 to E3. So let's I'm gonna just do a summarize. I'm gonna summarize each and every position to see which one will fit you the best. RPOC is pretty much in charge of the whole division, right? So RPOC, he leads the chow line. He leads everything to when they, marching and when they're practicing their steps and sticks and everything. So if you're an RPOC and you're a leader, you're somebody that, you might have played a sport or you just have a natural leading ability, I would definitely say RPOC fits you. AROC, these are the ones that do cadence, right? So whether it be left, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. So if you have some type of a singing voice and you're kind of melodic and you kind of like, being vocal, AROC is the position for you. So you have RPOC and AROC is right next to him. Master at Arms. So Master at Arms is essentially like Master at Arms when it comes to the civilian world, right? So Master at Arms is pretty much the security, or pretty much the person that's going to make sure that everybody in the division is doing what they're supposed to do. And they're the RPOCs and the AROC's right-hand man, pretty much. You know what I mean? Typically, when I was back in boot camp, it was like really big people, you know what I mean? Kind of like real macho people that was Master at Arms. Sticks have a very important job. I was actually a stick. So typically, shorter people, I'm 5'9", but typically people that are, shorter than like 6 foot or whatever are typically sticks. But sticks is not the easiest job, but it's definitely a job that gets a lot of attention. So a stick are the people that actually hold the flags. So you have to lead, and then if you're a stick, you'll actually be doing different, I guess you want to say step drills and practices, to where you'll have to learn, right flank, left flank. I forgot. It was, forgive me, it's been 2014. It's been 8 years. But you'll have to learn all these different steps while holding the flag. Then you have to bring it up and then bring it back down and then kind of holster it. So if you enjoy, or if you did that kind of stuff when you was in high school, or if you did like JROTC, then I would definitely recommend you do stick. Stick is not bad. You don't really have to be as vocal, but you definitely have to make sure that you're kind of coordinated enough to, do your job. the division leaders. So the division leaders are, I want to say it was section leaders. So pretty much they had different sections in boot camp. So if you're a division leader and you display good leadership by making sure that everybody within your section is doing what they're supposed to do, not giving everybody a hard time, then you're set. You're good to go. Yeoman, something I wish I would have done in boot camp, because that ultimately ended up being my real job, you know, or my real rate once I actually joined the fleet. A yeoman pretty much handles all the paperwork. One of the benefits to the yeoman is that they're constantly, you know, side by side with the RDCs, because they're helping and aiding the RDCs with all the paperwork. So that's definitely something that you definitely want to, you know, consider if you go with paperwork. Or if you're a yeoman, in the fleet, you might as well get a little bit of practice by being a yeoman in boot camp. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like some, so what's the word I'm looking for? Like some preparatory work, you know, just to kind of see what to expect while you're out in the fleet. And being that I was a yeoman, I would actually do a breakdown of what to expect, my experiences as a yeoman, and everything like that as well too. So stay tuned, because I have a lot of videos coming up soon. Study the Bluejackets manual to rank up. This is super, super, super important. So the Bluejackets manual is something that you can actually get on eBay. You can get a Kindle of it. You can get a PDF, and I will actually make sure to put all the links to the hard copy and the digital copy so that you could be as well prepared for boot camp as possible. Reason being is because when I was in boot camp back in 2014, you're going to have a knowledge test. So they're going to test your knowledge as far as the insignias, officers, enlisted, chief warrant officers. They're going to ask you about their sleeve and what they wear on their actual sleeve insignia. And you want to be able to identify all this stuff. All this stuff is in your Bluejackets manual. So if you want to make the most of your boot camp experience and you want to make the most of your Navy career, you have to start doing these things now before you join. So that way, if you join as an E1, you'll be able to leave boot camp as an E2, if not an E3, depending on how well you do while you're in boot camp. So you might as well take that time, study the Bluejackets manual. It's no different than you studying a test or an exam. And you have to be able to have this mindset going into boot camp, knowing that you have to take this serious. You know what I mean? Like, this is, especially if you ultimately want to make a career out of this, this is something that will make or break the rest of your career. Trust and believe me when I tell you that. I came in as an E1 for boot camp, and I left as an E1, and I regret not doing the things that I'm telling you right now. Another thing is apply for Navy Federal, right? So I'll make another video later on as far as why Navy Federal Credit Union is such a good credit union and a good bank to bank with. Aside from the fact that you get paid 2 days earlier than everybody else, which is a great incentive, Navy Federal has a plethora of benefits when it comes to low APRs, not to mention your military, low APRs if you want to start a business, for business loans, business credit cards. So I would already set yourself up. It's not too late. You could do it after you join or after you actually leave boot camp, but just set yourself up already. Do it while you're in boot camp. That way you're already set up. Don't get discouraged, right? So boot camp is not hard. Boot camp is not like the Navy boot camp is not like the Marines where it's going to be super physically demanding. So don't get discouraged. In the very beginning, you're going to be sleep deprived. You're going to have to do a lot of studying, but it's not anything that you can't do that I've seen millions of other people in the fleet actually, you know, obviously have to do. They pass boot camp to be in the same command, to be in Bahrain, to be in Japan. So don't get discouraged. 1,000 other people did the same exact thing you did. Millions, billions of other people did the same exact thing as you did. So do not get discouraged. You know what I mean? Just see it through, understand what your end result is and what your end goal is. You know what I mean? You're only there for a few months, especially depending on when you actually join. If you join in November, then it's going to be a little bit of a shorter boot camp for you. So, but I say all that to say, don't get discouraged. You know, it's temporary. Like whether you can't pass the swim test or whether you get AS mode, whatever the case is, like, don't let that discourage you. It's only temporary. Sunday church service is super uplifting. I'm not religious at all, and I'm not too church oriented myself, but I did decide to go to church when I was in boot camp, and it's honestly a great opportunity for you to get away from the division and you know, kind of mingle with other people. And the Sunday church service that I went to back in 2014, I'm sure they have a different pastor by now, but it was great. You know what I mean? I was able to go there, you know, walk a little bit, get out of the you know, the mod, and it was just cool. You know what I mean? I was able to talk to different people from different divisions. So I would definitely recommend you go, even if you're not religious. Now, I'm not putting this on you. I'm not pressuring you guys to do this. I'm just saying I would definitely do it just because it's a breath of fresh air. And the last thing is just be a leader, right? So as I covered earlier, you have a lot of different positions that you could volunteer for, but as long as you display that you're a leader, you will be recognized for that. You know what I mean? Let's say even if you can't pass the prior knowledge test and you know, you missed your opportunity with that, just be a leader. If you see people goofing off, if you see people not cleaning when they're supposed to be cleaning, and you see a lot of things that you know should be done that the RDCs passed along, it's not being a teacher's pet, it's not being a punk, it's not being any of that. You know why? Because at the end of the day, you guys are all going your separate ways. The fleet is small, but you want to make the most of what you can make for your career. Be a leader. Go in there, make the most of what you can, exemplify and display. Even if you're not too much of an outgoing personality, or even if you're not too much of an extrovert, let's say it that way, and you're kind of introverted, you could still display those levels of leadership by you just speaking up, by you helping other people out. And don't help other people because you want attention and you want recognition. Help those people out because that's just who you are as a person. But everything that happens in the dark would definitely come to light eventually. I've learned that. So be a leader. Take it serious. Understand that it's only a few months, but these few months are going to change the rest of your trajectory for the rest of your life. So boot camp is definitely something that I enjoyed, honestly. You know what I mean? There was a lot of myths. There was a lot of things that I didn't know and a lot of uncertainties. And I want to make sure I still keep the experience the same, just so you can kind of have the experience of not really knowing what to expect, but still enjoy everything that there is to offer. You know, look at everything as an experience. And even if it's not the most gracious experience in the world, just say, man, I had the opportunity to do this. Because at the end of the day, I don't know what the exact percentage is. There's like 5-10% of the whole of everyone in the world that's actually able to join the military, whether they have a record, whether they can't pass the drug test, whether they can't pass the ASVAB. So honestly, just feel privileged to the fact that, man, I passed the ASVAB. I did everything I was supposed to do. So now I'm about to go to the military. You know what I mean? Especially when you're 18. I joined at 18 and that was like, it was crazy. I was the only person that actually joined the military. So, you know, make the most of it. So if you have any other questions though, anything at all that I did not cover in this video, please feel free to leave a comment below. Feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, and I'll be able to clear up what I can without giving away too many details. So these are just the biggest things to be able to set you up for success. Make your boot camp experience something that is something you will remember for the rest of your life, and you'll make the most. If you come in as an E1, and I guarantee if you follow these steps that I just told you, and you kind of like took some notes on what exactly to do, you will leave as an E3. I guarantee it. You display those levels of leadership, you pick up a key position such as AROC, RPOC, Yeoman, Master at Arms, and you're just constantly on board doing everything you're supposed to do, you will leave as an E3, and I guarantee that would change everything for you for the rest of your Navy career, whether you end up doing 5 years or you end up doing 30 years.